starts right now.
Every time we've seen him, known him, we didn't see flags, any signs or anything like that.
A San Antonio mother shot and rushed to the hospital. The man police say attacked her and what she says she missed and that she wished she'd known before that dark day.
And could San Antonio end criminalizing marijuana and abortion? The plan that one local group says is possible.
And plus, a boarding home with a bad record. KSAT investigates, looks into the dozens of violations for a home that's meant to take care of our most vulnerable. But first, a push for another change to policing, and this one involves decriminalizing marijuana and abortion.
We know that local activists are pushing to get proposals on the ballot for San Antonio's May election. Act 4SA plans to announce its campaign tomorrow morning, but City Hall reporter KSAT Berger got an early look tonight.
It's called the San Antonio Justice Charter Initiative, a sweeping proposal on policing policy.
All together, this will create a safer San Antonio for all.
Center stage, marijuana and abortion. Misdemeanor pot possession is already part of the San Antonio Police Department's cite and release program, but the proposed charter change would forbid even citing people in almost all cases.
Right now, the city of Austin has an identical ordinance with one exception.
Namely, that SAPD officers could no longer use the smell of pot or hemp as probable cause for a search. And as for abortion, outside of narrow exceptions, San Antonio police would be forbidden from enforcing criminal abortion laws.
We think that there are others better suited for these laws. We know that there's going to be a lot changing, a lot of challenges for these laws.
In the council's discussions on abortion policy, the city attorney said council can't direct the city manager to not enforce certain laws. But activists still think they're on solid legal ground with the charter change.
The people of San Antonio have what's called home rule authority, where we can decide how to allocate scarce public resources, as long as we're not preempted by state law.
The charter amendment would also create an appointed justice director position, and it would take policies SAPD already follows, like cite and release for low-level offenses beyond pot and bans on chokeholds and no-knock warrants, and set them in stone, or even expand on them in some cases.
If you have a change of your police chief, right, your administration, these are things that can change.
The measure needs 20,000 signatures to even get onto the ballot. The group leading the campaign, Act 4SA, hopes to gather them by early January. KSAT Berger, KSAT 12 News.
She was attacked in her own home, and now a San Antonio mother wants to move out. Police say this man, 29-year-old Cody James Sweetman, shot that woman and tied up her son. That's after her daughter dumped him and went into hiding. The Night Team's John Paul Barajas learned this isn't Sweetman's first run-in with the law.
What happened to your hand? You got shot here too?
Doorbell video shows the night Ana de la Cruz says she was shot by her daughter's ex-boyfriend. She adds her daughter was already in hiding because Cody James Sweetman was abusive. She asked him to move out. He agreed, but then pulled a gun.
Nobody's here, I swear to God. I had my phone like this and I had my hands up. I said, please don't do this. And I'm just trying not to make eye contact because I know it's coming. I know that's going to be the end of my life because he had it in my head.
De la Cruz was shot in the hand and stomach. Warning shots as Sweetman demanded she call her daughter. De la Cruz explains her memory's hazy, but that she fought back.
Because I remember him fighting the gun, like trying to pull it away from me, but he just emptied it and ran off.
Her 17-year-old son, who was helping Sweetman load his things, had his hands duct taped and was locked in a shed in the backyard. He was able to escape and call 911 from a neighbor's house.
Just the person who I thought he was, I was liking the guy. I was liking him for my daughter. I didn't know anything about Cody's history. If I would have known all this, I would have had a police officer right away.
De la Cruz learned through San Antonio police that Sweetman has a criminal history. He was charged with soliciting for murder in Oklahoma back in 2012.
In this home, I will never have peace. As long as he knows where we're at, I will never have peace.
According to multiple news outlets in Oklahoma, Sweetman's attempted murder for hire involved his ex-girlfriend at the time. Sweetman is being held here at the Bexar County Jail for charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and unlawful restraint. His bond is at $100,000. John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, John Paul. 21 lives lost, a community shattered, and now a Uvalde school victim's family member says another wrong move was made. Jesse Russo is Jackie Casales' uncle. He's penned an open opinion piece following Superintendent Dr. Hal Harrell's retirement and the reaction it spurred. In the article, Russo says he believes Harrell failed to unite a divided community.
He lacked a characteristic called leadership. And that is where you take a situation of this magnitude, of the crisis, and at different levels you begin to get the community together, make them understand each other, right? And make them work together towards a peaceful outcome.
Dr. Harrell was with the district for 31 years, and the victim's family said they never asked for his retirement in the first place. They asked for accountability and transparency. We have Russo's entire interview linked on KSAT.com, as well as a link to his letter in the local Uvalde newspaper.
Behind a strong cold front and some morning rainfall, temperatures are sliding nicely this evening. Feeling like fall out there for a change. Bernie right now at 59. Comfort already down to 56. Meanwhile, officially at the airport, we're 65, but Stinson on the south side at 68. Here's what you can expect tomorrow morning. Have the jacket or sweatshirt ready for the kids at the bus stop. Upper 40s to right near 50 in the hill country. Kerrville, Comfort, Bernie, even Bulverde, right around that 50-degree mark. I think locally in town about 53 to 54 for the morning temperature. Now, we do have some even cooler temperatures to talk about. More jackets at the bus stop the rest of the week. Some pleasant afternoons, and even our next chance of rain is in the forecast. We'll break it down for you just how cold and where coming right up.
Adam, thank you. An elections lawsuit and a judge's order. Will Bexar County be able to add polling locations by a judge's deadline? Well, Bexar County Elections Administrator Jacqueline Callanan pitched 259 locations last month. Now, a lawsuit claimed the Texas Election Code requires the county to have 388 locations on Election Day. Here's the thing. A judge ruled that those locations need to be determined and posted online by tomorrow. Tonight, we asked the elections office if they were ready. And in a statement, they still left that question unanswered, saying in part, quote, the commissioner's court is meeting tomorrow to discuss the number of vote center additions and how that will be accomplished. The suit is against the county of Bexar and not specifically the elections department, end quote.
A family's 5-year-long wait for justice is finally coming to an end. It's a Nightbeat update to a case we brought you last week. There has now been a plea agreement in the death of 13-year-old Emily Zaltzman. Paul Sechting hit the back of the car that Zaltzman was riding in 2017. She would die from the injuries. A witness told police this man, Sechting, appeared to be driving while looking down at his phone. The case against him was delayed 15 times. He was set to go on trial tomorrow. Instead, the 27-year-old decided to plead guilty to manslaughter. In exchange for that guilty plea, prosecutors are expected to recommend 10 years probation. Records obtained by KSAT Investigate show part of that probation could be served in jail, and he could still pay restitution to Zaltzman's mother and grandfather. His sentencing is scheduled for Thursday.
Now for a look at some of today's big headlines in your Nightbeat News Flash. A series of surgeries. That's what Eric Cantu has had to face after he was shot by a San Antonio police officer who was then fired. Now today, Cantu's attorney said that bullets tore through the 17-year-old's stomach, liver, diaphragm, lungs, and arms. The teen remains on life support tonight. 2 weeks ago, James Brennan was seen shooting at Cantu in a McDonald's parking lot. Brennan was fired from the police force and is now facing charges. An Air Force major accused of killing his wife is going to go to trial 3 months from today. In an exclusive interview, Andre McDonald's attorney says that it's just not fast enough.
It's way too much delay. We made a motion to dismiss the case for not giving him a speedy trial.
The trial was supposed to begin last fall, but prosecutors say they needed more time to sift through new evidence. Judge Frank Castro says that this would be the final reset for this case. McDonald's wife disappeared in 2019, and her burned remains were found 6 months later on a private property. McDonald's trial is on January 17th. Cancer, now the leading cause of death in Latinos. That's according to a leading researcher at UT Health San Antonio. Dr. Emily Ramirez says that the fear factor among Latinos is a big risk factor. She says that avoiding routine tests, checkups, and just not knowing what kinds of cancers one in their family are all risks. She also notes a lack of health insurance among the group, which makes it even more difficult to treat cancer. And that's a look at your Nightbeat News Flash.
It's a busy street with bars and businesses, and it's expecting a new neighbor. How it could help residents and businesses along the St. Mary's Strip and their struggles with trash and crime in the neighborhood.
Plus, a crackdown on a local boarding home. KSAT investigates the doctor that owns the home and the violations they've been hit with.
Think of it. Some of the community's most vulnerable people are supposed to be cared for inside this building. But KSAT Investigates found this local boarding home racked up more than 50 violations.
And one of the issues involved faulty evacuation plans in case of an emergency. As the night team's Dylan Collier reports, the owner of the home is now expected in court.
At the corner of Craig Place and Blanco Road, you'll find the only registered boarding home in San Antonio to receive any citations since the summer of 2018. Recent code enforcement efforts there, which ramped up this spring, have uncovered 52 violations, including operating without a valid permit, the facility not being kept in sound condition or good repair. Residents didn't have easy access to a phone 24 hours a day or proper privacy while using it. And incorrect emergency evacuation plans were posted in the home's kitchen and bedrooms.
They can be very vulnerable, and if they're not taken care of or provided that safety, it can go very unsafe very quickly.
Development Services Director Michael Shannon says the home's operator, Dr. Federico Padua, was given ample opportunity to turn things around.
Most of our owners, they want to provide that minimum or an even higher level of safety than we prescribe. In this case, unfortunately, that's not been the case that we've experienced.
What started as the city simply trying to get Padua to come into compliance has led both sides to San Antonio Municipal Court. Padua set to make a plea appearance on 22 criminal citations this week.
We felt that their lack of effort on many of these was unreasonable, and they really weren't doing what they were supposed to keep these people safe.
The doctor, who has owned the property since 2003, did not respond to requests for comment left at his home or at his Southwest Side medical practice. If the persistent property issues have not been fixed by Padua's court date, he faces potential fines well into the thousands of dollars.
We're certainly going to let the court decide. That's the process.
For KSAT Investigates, I'm Dylan Collier.
By the way, Dr. Padua is scheduled to be in court for those citations tomorrow morning. We'll update you on what happens. San Antonio's boarding home ordinance is now nearly 10 years old. There are 10 licensed boarding homes within the city limits.
Some neighbors holding on to hope when it comes to some of the struggles along the St. Mary's Strip. You've heard about this. These neighbors have complained about trash, loot acts, and criminal activity once the nearby bars shut down. Well, now crews will break ground on a new police substation this December. It's part of a voter-approved bond project. Community members saw the final renderings of the building that will be located at North St. Mary's and Myrtle. Neighbors are hoping that this is going to encourage bar-goers to behave.
That presence of that building being there will wake up the people going to the Strip.
I think that having police substation in the neighborhood makes people to feel safer and comfortable, and I think that's the reason we are building one here, and we have one for District 3 in next few years.
The facility is expected to house between 8 to 12 officers per shift starting January of 2024, so still a long ways to go. The facility is also going to have generators and community meeting rooms.
Check out Sky 12. Let's see where they are right now. They are over downtown San Antonio. That's the Torch of Friendship art piece you see right there in the middle of the roundabout. beautiful day and cooling off nicely tonight.
Couldn't ask for a nicer fall night.
Yeah, I know a lot of folks have been waiting for this crisp weather to move in. It's here, and it's here for several days. Of course, we'll have some fluctuations, and we'll get into those details in a moment, but bottom line, expect some cooler mornings on the way. Tomorrow morning, right around 53 degrees, but look at Wednesday morning. We're down to 44 for the morning temperature. Thursday, we start to rebound, but still in the 40s Thursday morning. So have the light jackets, the sweatshirts ready to go, especially for the kids at the bus stop. All right, we'll talk more temperatures in a bit and even afternoon readings, but I want to take a look at the rainfall that we had late last night and earlier today. And this is on top of the drought monitor. And of course, we all know we need the rainfall, especially Bexar County and immediate surrounding counties and communities. But you play the radar over the past just about 24 hours, and you can see that we had some good soaking rain across parts of drought-stricken South and Central Texas. I mean, it's a small dent into the drought, but better than nothing, of course, in terms of actual accumulations. Officially at the airport, 2/3 of an inch. Hallettsville, 1.5 inches, but I did get another report from my buddy out there of over 2 inches at his house. Del Rio, over 2 inches. Eagle Pass, over 3 inches. And these are actual rain gauge measurements, not radar estimates. Garner State Park, check that out. Just over 3 inches. That's in northern Uvalde County there. Locally, generally under an inch, but still some good healthy accumulations that should even help give the aquifer a little bit of a boost as we get into tomorrow. All right, here's the big picture. A lot of the rain has calmed down, but I do anticipate a few showers to start picking up again late tonight and especially early tomorrow morning. Cold front has moved through, upper level disturbance that's still exiting our area. I do think we'll have just enough energy on the bottom side of that upper low to kickstart a few showers far south of San Antonio come tomorrow morning. Increasing clouds overnight tonight. Here's our futurecast, 2 a.m. Clouds overspread again. A sprinkle here or there. Yeah, we can't rule that out. But I do think the actual shower activity or something that could get in the way of a morning commute, that'll stay south of us. Maverick County, Dimmitt, LaSalle, McMullen counties. That's where the energy should be for tomorrow morning. But again, even around town, a few sprinkles, a brief little shower here or there can't be ruled out. Just pretty insignificant. And then we get into the rest of the week, sunny and dry even through the weekend. Monday of next week, we're starting to see signs of the potential for rain. Right now we have it at 30%, but of course we will be fine-tuning that forecast. 73, that was our high today. That's the coolest afternoon high we've had in 6 months here in San Antonio. And right now you see these readings. We're already dipping into the 50s in the hill country and 60s everywhere else. Carrizo Springs 63 and Gonzales now at 64. So tomorrow morning, low to mid 50s for most of us. Uvalde 55, Canyon Lake 51 degrees, Stone Oak 53, Elmendorf 55. By the afternoon, we only get into the upper 60s for the afternoon high temperature. Keep in mind, the average high is in the low 80s this time of year. And I do anticipate that clearing throughout the day. Yes, we'll have some low clouds in the morning and some of those showers south of town, but then becoming sunny, and afternoon temperatures do rebound back into the mid 80s by this Friday and the upcoming weekend. However, low humidity all week long. Feeling fall-like for a change.
You know, like I said at 6, I swear I could hear my lawn say, ah.
When she
with the rain. Yeah.
Okay, now we want to hear Mas or more about the Spurs. What's their starting lineup going to be on opening night?
Well, you know, Papa's about to enter his 27th season as a head coach of the Spurs. Most of the members of his team are not even 27 years old. Look at it that way, all right? Yes. So who does make the final cut as far as the starting lineup is concerned? When we come back, we will let you know, according to Pop. And Dak is back starting this week. Coming up. When the Spurs tip off their regular season on Wednesday against the Charlotte Hornets, will mark the 27th season for Greg Popovich as a head coach. During the nearly 3 decades of the helm, other teams have been through, on average, 3 coaches. But this season will be the biggest challenge of his career because he's coaching the youngest roster in Spurs history. That includes 5 19-year-olds. To get down to the required roster limit, the Spurs released Joe Wieskamp, their second-round pick in 2021. As a result, Pop tells us that he will be letting his this year's first-round pick, Jeremy Sohan, learn by doing.
We got to give him some space, let him make some mistakes and take time to feel comfortable at both ends of the court. But it's a whole new world for him. But he's got all the tools to do very well there. So we just want to throw him in the frying pan and see how he does.
Pop also revealed he'll be going with the starting lineup that would include Jeremy Sohan, Kelton Johnson, Jakob Poeltl, Trey Jones, and Devin Vassell. What does the third-year Spur think of that?
We've been able to play for the past 2 games. I think we're energetic. We get up and down. Whoever gets the ball and the rebound, obviously besides Yak, we're getting it and we're going. So, we can switch a lot 1 through 4. I like that unit.
All right. It all starts on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Our live reports begin at 5 o'clock.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
Dak is back. That is what we are hearing from everyone, including Prescott himself. Following the Cowboys' 26-17 loss to the Eagles in Philadelphia, it appears that Prescott will make his return when the Cowboys host the Lions in AT&T Stadium this Sunday at noon. That's after he missed the last 5 games after breaking a bone and a throwing thumb in the season opener. Prescott told reporters that he has every intention of practicing to full speed on Wednesday and playing Sunday. Head coach Mike McCarthy backed that up today.
Dak is going to be cleared here officially. I think I haven't spoken to the medical group yet, but the anticipation is for Dak to be cleared today or tomorrow, and then he'll be returned to practice on Wednesday.
All right, give credit to Cooper Rush, who won 4 out of 5 games. He started in place of Dak to keep them in contention for the NFC East title, now at 4-2. The big game and our big game coverage this Friday night. Next. The UTSA Roadrunners have arguably their biggest game of the season this Saturday in the Alamo Dome when they host North Texas. UTSA leads Conference USA, 5-2 record overall, but the Mean Green are right behind them at 4-3, and both are 3-0 in conference play. Even that close of a matchup, the Roadrunners are favored by 9.5 points, even though the Mean Green handed the Roadrunners their first loss in their historic season last year in a blowout 45-23 defeat, and they're 6th in the nation in rushing. North Texas, that is. Head coach Jeff Traylor says the Dome needs to be packed and rocking.
They're going to be hard to stop. Now, we're going to need that Alamo Dome to be 35,000 minimum, and we're going to need Sosa, the cheerleaders, every kind of music speaker we can have blasted in the Alamo Dome until that ball snaps. We don't want to break any rules, but until then, that thing needs to be just rocking.
All right, kickoff in the Alamo Dome on Saturday is set for 2:30 p.m. After holding off Iowa State 24-21 last week at home, the Texas Longhorns travel to Stillwater this weekend to face the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Remember, the Cowboys beat the Longhorns last year 32-24, and they're now this year ranked 11th in the latest Associated Press college football poll, while the Horns are number 20. But still, the Horns are 4.5-point favorites after Oklahoma State suffered their first loss of the season in the double overtime defeat, 43-40 against TCU. That and the fact the Horns are on a 3-game win streak. Any chance of being too big-headed going into this game? In other words, is head coach Steve Sarkisian worried about the players taking the rat poison, as he likes to put it?
There was no rat poison in our meeting this morning. We had a real come to Jesus this morning. We got to play better.
All right, kickoff in Stillwater set for 2:30. You can see that game live right here on KSAT 12 between the Longhorns and the Cowboys. The big game and our big game coverage this Friday night will feature the number 7 New Braunfels Canyon Cougars facing off against the number 9 Seguin Matadors in Seguin at Matador Stadium. Both teams come into this game with identical 6-1 overall records, but the Matadors are undefeated in district at 4-0, while the Cougars have just one loss in that game against Smithson Valley, 35-0. Depending on what the Rangers do against Bernie Champion on Friday night, this one could well be for the lead in District 12-5A Division I, and there's some personal bragging rights on the line for Seguin players.
This Canyon team, actually, a lot of their coaches coached me back 2 years ago. So I know a lot of them, and I really want to win this game. I want to show them that they left the wrong school and they shouldn't have made the choice to go to Canyon.
It's really important, especially for seeding in the playoffs. They're number 1 seed right now, and if we knock them down, we'll be number 1 or 2.
All right, kickoff at Matador Stadium set for 7:30, and we'll be there live starting at 5 on Friday night. So a little extra twist to this contest, huh?
When your coaches leave and go to a competitor.
Literally right down the street.
Yeah, you want to beat that team.
You sure do.
Yeah, thanks, Greg.
See what happens on Friday. We'll be right back after this.
Here's a look at the KSAT 12-hour forecast. 7 a.m. tomorrow, 53 degrees, and we can't rule out a few showers, especially south of town, but then clearing, and by the afternoon, we make it into the upper 60s for a high. But keep in mind, the average high is 82, so obviously well below average, and feeling fall-like all week, even cooler in the 40s Wednesday and Thursday mornings.
Just enjoy it while it's here. Thank you for being with us. Have a good night.
GMSA at 4:30.